So welcome back. So we have created our stake pool, but it cannot produce any blocks just yet, mainly because we have the decentralization parameter set to 1. So we need to make another update proposal to bring that down. And as always, our update proposals need to be signed by the delegate keys. But we have a small problem here. Our keys that are produced by the create Cardano command are Shelley compatible, but they are extended verification keys, and the CLI will not take it. So we need to do another conversion. So we need to convert our verification keys, our extended verification key from our delegates to a non-extended and let me just do it in sections so that I can talk about it more clearly. So we are gonna take the Genesis keys, the extended verification key, and we are going to convert it into a non-extended verification key. So now we are going to do that, and now we are going to move on and create a non-extended verification key for our Genesis key here. There we go. This is what we are actually going to need, and again I'm going to be very explicit with my naming: non-extended Shelley 001 verification key, and this is what our update proposal will require. So now I'm gonna use another script, because remember that we have this difference in slot length between Byron and Shelley eras. That brings us a problem, because our blockchain started with a given slot length, and now we are in a shorter slots in Shelley era. So we will need to figure out our window here for sending this proposal. We need to be before 6k over f slots before the end of the epoch, but because we have Byron slots and the query tip command will give us the absolute number, it will also count for these Byron slots. So we need to basically remove from our counting the Byron slots. So this very simple script will tell me where in the epoch I am. So let me just go here, but I will need to change that, because when I wrote this, I transitioned to Shelley in epoch 3, which was at the Byron slot 1350, but this time it was at the slot 1800. So this short script will take the number of Byron slots, which I know because the transition to Shelley was at slot 1800. I'm gonna hard code it here. Then I'm gonna query the tip, get the current slot number. I'm gonna calculate the number of Shelley slots by deducting the current tip minus the Byron slots, and then I'm gonna query the epoch length from the Genesis Shelley Genesis JSON file, which I know is 9000. And then remember that we need to be before we have this window for submitting our proposal. So we need to be before 6k over f. So we are going to calculate k. Not calculate, but get it from the security parameter. And we are going to get f also from the Shelly Genesis file. It is the active slot coefficient. And then we are going to calculate our threshold. So our threshold is the opposite of that, right? So it is 4 times k over f. And we are going to calculate the slot in epoch. So we are going to take the Shelly slots that we calculated here, and we are going to do the modulus operation here and modulo Shelly epoch length. Shelly epoch length. And this will tell us where in the epoch we are. And this is important because the command that we are going to use to submit the update proposal will take epoch as a parameter. And when we say epoch, we will need to specify whether we want to submit it for the current epoch or for the next one. So this short script will help me to get that information. Now I'm going to give the chmod plus x executable permissions for this one. And now I'm going to do cd cluster and dot slash, let me just say watch minus n this prediction is nasty, I don't like it. Dot slash watch, no, not what watch, where in epoch, there we are. So if I was to submit the proposal right now, it should be for the next epoch, not for this one, because I have already passed my window to do that. So what I want to do now is start creating the update proposal. It's just that I'm not going to send it for this epoch, but for next one. Okay, so let me just clear my screen here and I go there. Cardano CLI governance, create update proposal. The out file will be transactions, update, decentralization 80.proposal, the 80.proposal, that will be my out file. And for epoch, I'm gonna read again the current epoch. And I'm gonna need to bring that to the next one. So instead of just reading it, I'm gonna say that it will be epoch will be 9. Instead of that, I can say that I can say that I want epoch to be not the current, which would be obtained by this command, but instead of that, I'm gonna say epoch 9. And now I'm gonna use the Genesis verification key file, the non-extended Shelly verification key that we just produced. And remember that when we explored our diagram here, we said that there is no independent mechanism of voting and endorsing, but instead the way that in Shelly it works is that all the delegates need to submit the same transaction, so the same update proposal. It doesn't have to happen at the same time like what I'm doing now, but there's nothing that prevents it from happening. So we could have independent update proposals signed independently by each of the delegates, but we can do it in one go right now. So this is exactly what I'm gonna do. So let me just come and do it. So I'm gonna bring decentralization parameter down to 80%. This is the purpose of this update proposal. And now we are ready to create the transaction body. But first we need to calculate the change of the transaction using the same method that we have used before. And I'm going to use transaction build row. Again, using the Shelly error flag to specify this is a Shelly error transaction. The fee is going to be, again, 1 ADA, just because I like it. And the time to live of the transaction will be 1,000 slots after the current. Transaction input is the payment address. The output is the same payment address. And the update proposal file is the one that we just created above with update.dat.proposal. And our out file will be the DAT proposal transaction body. So very clear there. As we said before, we don't have a special type of transaction for update proposals in Shelly era, but instead they are submitted via a regular transaction, which is what we just created, the transaction body, and we are just going to sign it. And because we need to pay transaction fees, we sign it with the payment keys. And because this is a transaction proposal, we sign it with the delegate signing keys, the Shelly signing keys for the delegates that are in BFT0 and BFT1. The output file will be the DAT proposal transaction signed. And from there, we can just submit it to the chain. And we are in epoch 8, but we specified that we want this transaction, this update proposal, to be valid for epoch 9. So it should just work. And it goes. Transaction successfully submitted. And if we go to the event logs, let me just try to pick it from there. It is not yet cached here. We don't see any logs here because we need to wait for the next epoch, for epoch 9 to start, so that we can see that update proposal registered on chain. And we are just going to wait for epoch 9, and we are going to expect to see this ledger event in the logs. So we know that we have 9,000 slots per epoch, so we need to wait 1,200 slots. So see you in 1,200 slots. So it looks like I missed it, right? So since logs are passing too fast, I missed it, but we should have seen the update proposal there. And by epoch 9, at the end of epoch 9, we should see the proposal adopted. So there it is. We have updated our protocol parameters, and our proposal has been adopted at the epoch transition from epoch 9 to epoch 10, and we can confirm that if we come to our stake pool and see that we can query like forged. So right now we are seeing in our stake pool that we are starting to actually forge blocks, and that is exactly what we were expecting, because we are now in a decentralization parameter that is less than 1. So it's great. So what can we do now? Well, let's move a little bit forward, and we are going to bring this cluster all the way from Shelly era, where we are now, up to Alonso first. This is going to be our first, our next effort will be to bring it all the way to Alonso. And the reason for not going up to Babbage at the moment is that for Babbage, decentralization parameter is completely removed. So when we want to transition from Alonso to Babbage, we need to make sure that our system is fully controlled by stake pools no longer we cannot have any BFT nodes producing blocks. Oh well, they will stop producing blocks by that matter. But we will need to create another stake pool at least, and bring the decentralization parameter down to 0. And so yeah, that is exactly what will happen now. Let's go from Shelly to Alonso, and that will happen in the next video.